Hello there, everybody. I hope you're all well and doing fine today. Uh, I'm just gonna give you a little breakdown of what I've learned about Doge. Elon Musk and his investigation into the U.S. money system and where all the money's been going and all this and that. So that's where I'm gonna go with this. The concept of the Doge, the concept of, I said the Doge, but the concept of Doge emerged during Trump's 2024 presidential campaign, where he promised to create a government efficiency commission led by Musk if elected. And in September 2024 speech, Trump pledged to audit federal finances and eliminate fraud and improper payments within 6 months. Musk publicly expressed support, stating he would serve no pay, no title, and no recognition. Well, I think the recognition's out the window. He's clearly recognized for it. But it was all to help improve government efficiency, you know, evoking parallels to President Reagan's Grace Commission of the 80s. Presidents have tried, and then the next president comes in and throws a wrench in it. It's all screwed up again, right? This has happened over and over. It's nothing new. But upon turning to office on January 20th, 2025, Trump signed an executive order establishing Doge. While not a formal cabinet department, Doge operates as a temporary organization within the White House with a mission to modernize federal technology and software to maximize efficiency. Yet in practice, its reach expanded dramatically, targeting wasteful spending, reducing the federal workforce, and overhauling entire agencies. Right? That's why people are so against them. Oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. No, man, that money it had no right to go to where it went. But despite the White House lawyers downplaying Musk's formal role, describing him merely as a presidential advisor, Musk has become the de facto leader, spearheading the initiative. His appointment was highly publicized, with Trump declaring, "I signed an order creating the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, and put a man named Elon Musk in charge." Thus, Doge represents a fusion of Trump's political mission to drain the swamp and Musk's reputation for disruptive innovation. But it surely was disrupted, absolutely disruptive. But here's why the Doge team is necessary, and it has problems it aims to solve. Doge was created to address long-standing issues of government waste, fraud, and inefficiency amid soaring federal debt and deficits. By early 2025, the U.S. national debt had reached $36 trillion, with a $1.8 trillion annual debt deficit. Trump and supporters argue that government bloat is unchecked. Spending are key drivers of this crisis. The key problems targeted by Doge, improper payments and fraud. Federal programs reportedly lose hundreds of billions, of annual money to fraud and errors. A February 2025 War on Waste congressional hearing emphasized that only a fraction of budgets like SNAP are allowed or are allocated to fraud prevention, hinting that the actual fraud rates could be far higher. Yeah. Yeah. So it gets wild. Bureaucratic expansion. Decades of unchecked growth have created overlapping and outdated agencies, leading to what Trump described as a metastasized bureaucracy spinning without accountability. Inefficient operations. Many government agencies still rely on outdated technology and cumbersome processes, with which which Doge aims to streamline through modernization and lean management. Ultimately, Doge was deemed essential to bring talent, technology, tools, and transparency to federal operations, reducing waste and ensuring that our tax dollars are wisely spent. So, the positive contributions and accomplishments so far. Since its launch, Doge has reported significant, though sometimes contested, progress. 1. Claimed savings. Doge's dashboard reports over 105 billion in savings as of March 2025, achieved by cutting contracts, firing workers, and liquidating assets, though some figures were later corrected, i.e. 8 billion typo. They underscore the Doge's aggressive start. 2. The, the Congressional War on Waste. Doge spurred Congress to form a subcommittee on delivering on government efficiency, complementing Musk's team. In its first hearing, bipartisan lawmakers and experts exposed billions in improper payments, launching a public debate on fiscal accountability. Someone's got to be held accountable, right? So, workforce reductions. Doge facilitated the dismissal of over 25,000 federal employees and incentivized 75,000 voluntary separations by March 2025. Agencies like the Veterans Affairs Department expect savings of 98 million annually, intended to redirect funds to its core missions such as veteran health care. They've been being screwed over for so long they don't realize it, that they really have all this money that they could be going towards good use. And oh, it's sickening. Veteran health care. Imagine that. 98 million annually. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Contract and program cancellations. Doge maintains a public wall of receipts, listing thousands of canceled contracts and programs. High profile examples include the near total shutdown of the USAID and deep cuts to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB. Actions supporters claim will halt fraudulent and wasteful projects. Technical, techno, damn, I cannot ever speak when I need to. Technological solutions. Doge's team draws from Musk's companies, has introduced continuous auditing, advanced identity verification, and real world time savings dashboards. Though Musk acknowledged some data errors. He's committed to transparency and corrections, setting a precedent for public-facing accountability tools. Possible future outcomes and scenarios looking ahead. Doge's trajectory could significantly reshape U.S. governance. Number one, major fiscal savings and debt reduction. If successful, Doge could save up to $1 trillion, dramatically lowering the national debt and freeing resources from economic priorities or tax relief. Two, leaner, more efficient government agencies may emerge, streamlined and refocused on its core missions. The February 2025 executive order mandates agencies to submit downsizing plans, likely leading to smaller, more responsive institutions. 3. Fraud reduction and public trust restoration. That's a big one on me because I don't trust the government. But widespread fraud prevention could restore public faith in government, ensuring programs benefit only the rightful recipients. As Musk said, criminals should never receive a dime, and I agree. Resistance and legal battles that Doge faces, lawsuits from federal unions, oversight boards over mass firings, and Musk's role. Legal setbacks could slow reforms or force recalibration, with Trump recently signaling a more targeted approach, a scalpel, not a hatchet. Institutional and legislative reforms. Doge's findings may inspire permanent reforms, including tighter procurement laws, better auditing processes, and potentially a standing efficiency commission for ongoing oversight. Wouldn't that be amazing now? If we would have had that this whole time, we wouldn't be in the fucking place we're in now. It's incredible. And Trump's the demon. And Musk is whatever. I don't know what these people think. This is all positive stuff for me. Cutting spending, cutting the crap that we don't need. You know, when these people were like, oh yeah, go back to the office buildings were in shambles. They weren't going back. They never planned on going back. The only thing they planned was to continually get the check for doing nothing. It's disgusting. And you might be a liberal or a right side Democrat type of person, which I really have no bias on both, I guess. I guess on my Republican and reformative side, I do see and realize that we're out of control with, lobbyists and all this shit taking place that only benefits the rich to get richer and only spurs the divide that is already in between us. It's messed up, man. But let me ask you this, or let me tell you this: how the Doge team can benefit the country despite controversies. Doge offers real potential benefits. So, protecting taxpayer money. Every dollar saved from a fraud and a waste can reduce a debt, improve public services, or get returned to taxpayers. Doge's crackdown on fraud could save hundreds of billions over time. Improving government services. By cutting waste and modernizing operations, Doge could lead to a faster, more reliable services, such as a streamlined VA healthcare or improved digital access to benefits. The VA thing is big with me. Ethical governments and accountability. Doge promotes a culture of responsibility, signaling to federal workers that inefficiency and abuse will no longer be tolerated, potentially fostering long term change in bureaucratic behavior. Bipartisan reform opportunities. Fraud prevention is a nonpartisan issue, and Doge's findings may unite lawmakers around practical solutions to inefficiencies, breaking gridlock for the common good of all. Innovation and modernization. With Musk's involvement, Doge showcases how tech sector innovation can improve governments, from AI fraud detection to modern software, replacing outdated systems, making government more agile and effective. Imagine your freaking mayor being a ninja, or your governor being like a ninja. Yeah, I saw you fraud, and ninjas your ass. Like that's what he's talking about. A lot of people don't understand it. It's telling people that we're going to give the tools to the people who deserve the tools to use to be ninjas. Not ninjas. But you know what I guess I don't know about that metaphor. But my conclusion is Trump's Department of Government Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, represents a bold attempt to overhaul the federal spending and operations. Though early in its tenure, and not without controversy, Doge has already made notable strides, cutting costs, sparking public debate on waste, and forcing a reckoning with inefficiency. If successful, Doge could reshape how government operates for years to come, protecting taxpayer money, improving services, and restoring trust. The coming months will determine whether this rhetoric, sorry guys, the coming months will determine whether this historic effort fulfills its promise of lasting positive change. But it has already succeeded in forcing a national conversation on the urgent need for government efficiency and accountability. you know, so basically, we have to understand Doge and what it is. You know, I like the name Doge, even though it's Department of Government Efficiency. I like it because it's also like Dojo, like yo, like meet me in the dojo, and straight up calling these people out for their fraudulent, evil donations of money. Like, I don't need to tell you if you're paying attention of what they have caught so far. Damn, these people have caught like sending 22 million to Egypt for uh, woke education in Egypt, or sending uh, all this crazy crap, you know, wasteful money that it shouldn't be for, it should never be, man. You know, it's ridiculous. I don't even want to get into the USA. Those are the ones who send billions of dollars, multi-billions of dollars to countries that do not deserve its sent for especially what it's sent for. Why in the hell would a Muslim country, mostly Muslim, need 22 billion to educate them on the woke agenda, the sex agenda, the trans stuff, when they'll stone a motherfucker for that exact same reason? It's out of control. Oh yeah, by the way, I remember when New York was like wanted to be the safe haven for all the Mexican immigrants and whatnot. They put these illegal immigrants, aliens, up in high rise, fucking 3-4 star hotels, offered them room service, 3 meals a day, and then offered them money to just go spend. Do you know how much that was? Well, 19 million was strictly for the hotel costs alone. 19 million in New York. Yeah. And then, screw all the homeless people there. That money should have been used for our citizens, man. Straight up. Should have been used for our citizens. Oh yeah, the USAIDs. USAIDs, whatever you want to call it. US AIDS. I think it's a thing. But Texas made it, right? But they had a $40 billion budget. So that way people in Iraq could watch Sesame Street. No joke. Bert and Ernie, Sesame Street. I can't think of any more wasteful shit. 22 billion. 22 billion. Out of control, man. Bert and Ernie and Iraq for 22 billion a year. I don't think the United States of America's Sesame Street's budget probably costs more than $1 million. $1 million. I mean, I may be wrong, but when you look at it and how it is, there's puppets and stuff. I can't imagine it being over $1 million in a year to produce Sesame Street. But Iraq gets 22 billion. Yeah. So there's so fucking many that are just out of control, man. They paid um when they figured that, like, when the National Institute for Tobacco, I don't know what it's called, um the cigarette smokers people of America or some shit. It's called the NIH. Figured out that anti-smoking ads were resonating with young adults. They decided to go straight to the source. That's right, hipsters, or as the Commune Project called them, a group focused on the alternative music scene, local artists and designers, and eclectic self-expression. They spent $5 million in federal cash on commune-branded beer koozies and other swag. It's out of control. Out of control. Um, we spent at least 518,000 in federal grants to study how cocaine affects the sexual behavior of Japanese quails. There's another project that reportedly received more than $3 million over the course of the project, and $306 in 2015 alone. And these were hamster fights. They were injecting hamsters with steroids and then putting another hamster in the cage to see if the jugged rodents were more aggressive than when protecting their territory. And then others investigated whether becoming a trained fighter through 2 weeks of face-offs made the critter more aggressive. Wow, man. Yes, some old schools, firehouses, and more aren't being used anymore, but the government still holds on to them. About 770,000 unused and underused buildings nationwide as of 2016. That's what I was telling you about earlier about the returning to work thing. These buildings have been out of commission. But these buildings don't just sit here innocently, even empty. They require maintenance and basic power, a mowed lawn, and pipes that won't freeze. The costs add up to the tune of about $1.7 billion every year for empty buildings. Insane. They spend money on the digitized Grateful Dead memorabilia. Yeah, they're a great band, whatever. But do they really need $615,000 to digitize its collection of tickets, photos, T-shirts, and other memorabilia donated by the band? I could go on and on. Here's a funny one. IHOP, the International House of Pancakes, got some American love. Won $500,000 of U.S. Department of Health and Human Services grant went to build an IHOP in Washington, D.C. neighborhood. But no, this wasn't about members of Congress getting a new place to eat a short steak. This initiative was to create 70 full-time jobs for low-income workers who qualified for government financial assistance. So they're creating things that require government assistance so they require to have to pay them. And yeah, my God. And the whole in the Comedy Center in Jamestown, New York, they received 4.3 million from New York State plus another 1.7 million in federal grants. And it's just an immersive museum that would look back at influential comedians, including via holograms, showing off classic comedians in their heyday. I can understand history and wanting to be all about the history, but I gotta go, guys. Peace and love. Love you.